Hey everyone, it's Haley, and today I'm going to be doing my June wrap-up. So June was a pretty good reading month for me. I ended up reading a total of 17 books, counting my rereads, and that's pretty crazy. I was really busy in June, so I'm kind of surprised that I read so much. And if you notice the quality of my video is different, it's because usually I film on my phone, but I decided to try it on my old camera. So I'm just kind of like playing around with it. So yeah, let me know like which is better or whatever. Yeah. So I'm just gonna get right into it. So first I read Ruby Red by Kirsten Gier, and this book I actually didn't know. It's originally written in German, and this is the translated version. It's translated into English, and this is a historical fiction. It takes place in England in like different times, but most of it is in like modern day. It's about like time travel and like a time traveling family, and the main character Gwen, they have like a time traveling gene, and the main character, she's not expected to get the gene, but she ends up taking like trips into the past that she doesn't know about, and they're like uncontrolled, so they're really dangerous and stuff. So yeah. This book, I felt like not much happened. I did really love it. I loved the writing, and I think the main redeeming quality, like I gave it 5 stars. I did really like it. I just felt like there wasn't that much action. But the main character, Gwen, she is such a lovable character. She's funny. She's just like quirky. She's a really awesome protagonist. I really love her. So I think that's what made me like really enjoy this book so much. Next, I borrowed a book from a friend, and that is Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. And this book, I really wanted to like it, but I just couldn't. There's a lot of hype about this book. It's becoming a movie and everything, and everyone seems to love it, but I hated it. Like I didn't hate it. I just didn't really enjoy it. I didn't like any of the characters. The plot was cool. It kind of like kept you on your toes and everything, and like it kept you guessing and trying to figure out what had happened. So in this book, it's Amy and Nick's 5th wedding anniversary, and Amy ends up going missing, and no one knows what happened to her, and it's just kind of like about that. So yeah, you just kind of like try to figure out where Amy went and everything the whole time, but I didn't like any of the characters. I think that's why I didn't really like it. Next, I read Mind Games by Kirsten White, and this book is pretty short. I read it in like a day, and I don't really remember much about it just because I read it like at the beginning of the month, but I know it's a story about 2 sisters, Fia and I don't remember what the other sister's name is, but it's about them, and it kind of is like a supernatural kind of fantasy, where you have like psychics, and the one sister, she can see into the future and she sees stuff that's gonna happen, and the other sister, she doesn't really have any powers like that, but she's trying to like protect her sister, and they're at like kind of this institution, I want to say, where like they're learning to use their powers and everything. So it was a good book. I gave it like 4 stars. It didn't like wow me, but it was a good book, and I do plan on reading the next one. I think it's a duology. I don't really remember what happened, and that's why I don't have that much to say about it. I'm sorry. It's probably bad. Yeah. I think I'm going to start taking notes, and then I'll do reviews and stuff. I don't know. If you guys would like that, let me know. So next, I finally read Percy Jackson and the Olympians, the first book, The Lightning Thief, and I got the new like box set that came out this month with like the spines that all make a picture and like the covers that all make a picture. So I decided that I would finally read it, and I loved it. This is definitely one of my new favorite books. It's just action-packed and like quirky, and I love how it blends like mythology. Like I really love mythology. I find it very interesting. So I really loved how it was about mythology, but also it took place in like New York and like modern day world. So I thought that was really, really cool, and I'm so excited to continue with this series. And I actually had seen the movie before I read the book, and I was pretty shocked at how different the movie is from the book. The movie, like, I liked the movie, but I definitely liked the book more. More happens in the book, and I understand you have to condense for a movie, but I just thought, like, the way they condensed it, they left out, like, a lot, and they changed the parts that they did keep, so it was kind of weird, but I did still really enjoy this book, and I'm excited to read the next one because I haven't seen the movie, so we'll see how it compares. I also reread The Fault in Our Stars by John Green, my favorite book ever, because I got the movie edition and I read it in honor of the movie coming out. So I read it before I saw the movie again, and I don't really have anything to say about it because that's like my 14th time rereading it, and it was still just amazing. Next, I finally read Eleanor Park by Rainbow Rowell. I think I said it. I can never say her name. We're just going to get used to it. And actually, this month, in case you didn't see my June book haul, I also found a signed copy on Book Outlet, so that was exciting. But yeah, I hadn't read this, and I've heard hype about it forever, and I've been meaning to read it. I just never got around to it. This month I finally got around to it, and I did really like it. I think I gave it like 4 stars on Goodreads because it wasn't like one of my favorite books, but I still thought it was a really good book. It's just some of the characters weren't really that, like, I didn't like many of the characters so much, but I still did think it was a really cute story. I also read TheEffortless by Julie Halpern this month. This book is about cancer, and this girl, her best friend gets cancer, and her best friend asks her to complete her bucket list for her, like, because she has cancer and she can't do it. And I gave this 3 stars on Goodreads. It was okay. It wasn't like great or anything. A lot of it wasn't even focused on the bucket list and like completing those tasks, which was kind of, I don't know. I just thought it was mistitled because it's kind of like misleading and you think it's all going to be about this bucket list, but really it's not. I just thought it was kind of too short, and a lot more could have been done if it was kind of like longer. Then there could have been more about like the actual bucket list and like completing those things. And I don't know. I don't know if this is a new adult or not, but it's pretty graphic when it comes to like the relationship stuff. It's a pretty graphic book, so I don't know if it's a new adult, but I feel like it should be because I don't think like teenagers, like little teenagers, should be reading this. It's pretty graphic, but it still was like, it was okay. Not much else to say. I also read Unearthly by Cynthia Hand, and this is the first Angel book I have ever read, and I give it about 4 stars, I think. I did really like it. It just didn't wow me. I didn't really like the main character, Clara. I didn't really like Clara, but she finds out that she's half angel. Well, she knew before the book started, but yeah, she's half angel. She gets her purpose, and it's just kind of like about that. And yeah, I'm excited to read the next one just to see if kind of more happens and maybe if I like Clara more, because I was not so much a fan of her through a lot of this book. But I did still enjoy it. Next, I read Incarnate by Jodi Meadows, and I really loved this book. I gave it 5 stars. I just thought the concept was really intriguing, and the follow-through was also really good. The world building was very well done. Like, I felt like I'm kind of really immersed in it. And this book is about there's like 1,000 or so souls that have been continually reincarnated over like millions of years, and all of a sudden this new soul, Anna, is born. I don't know if it's Anna or Anna, but she's born, and they're trying to figure out why and everything, and it's kind of about her quest to figure out why she was born and everything, but then it's kind of got like the romantic aspect as well. I would really recommend this. First off, it has a gorgeous, gorgeous cover. And secondly, it's just a really great story. It's really engaging, and I really liked it. I'm excited to continue with this series as well. Next, I read Under the Never Sky by Veronica Rossi, and this book, I think I gave it 3 stars, maybe like 3.5. I liked the story, but the world building was very poor. I'm not sure if this is like a sci-fi or like a dystopian, because like it just wasn't really explained very well. Like, you didn't really know like whether they were like actually on Earth, or like kind of some things were like more scientific and like maybe they're on a different planet. It never really was explained so much, but it was still a good story. I'm hoping that the rest of the series will kind of like explain it more. Next I read Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor, and this book is awesome. It's a really high fantasy, and I don't usually read much fantasy, but I did really enjoy this one, and I've kind of been getting more into fantasy now. I wouldn't say it's one of my favorites, but I did give it 5 stars. It was just it's a really cool story about like monsters and like a completely different world that's also like connects to our world, kind of like a parallel universe. I don't know if it would be a parallel universe, but you know what I mean. It's about like angels and just this completely different world that like you wish you could visit, because it's like that cool. So yeah, if you're looking for like a high fantasy, this is a really good book for that. Next I read Scarlet by Marissa Meyer. I read Cinder last month, so I wanted to read Scarlet this month, and I think I gave this one 5 stars as well. I really enjoy this series. This book was kind of a little bit slow, I think, to get started. Not really to get started, but like most of the action was like in the last 100 pages. Like the last 100 pages were super action packed, and most of the rest of it was just like they were kind of like running away from things. And yeah, I can't give you much of a synopsis just because this is the second book in the series. But it's about like it's a sci-fi, and it's about the first one is a retelling kind of Cinderella, and then the second one has Little Red Riding Hood in it. So you have, but Cinder is also in this one. She's kind of like the main character for all of them, I think. So yeah, I'm excited to read Crest and see how that one is, but I don't know when I'll get to it just because it's really long, and I did have a little bit of trouble getting through this one for some reason, so I think I'm going to take a little break from these, and I'll read it sometime, maybe once the school year starts. Okay, we're getting to the bottom now. So this month I also read Reboot by Amy Tintera. I really like this book. It's kind of like a zombie book, except it's not your typical zombie book. It's where teenagers will die, and then mostly teenagers will die, and then they come back so long after they've died, and they're like stronger, faster, and they're used as soldiers. And the main character, Ren, she was dead for 178 minutes, which like the most people who are dead for a really long time, it's like 120 or something. So 178 minutes is like a really long time. She's like, she's the strongest reboot in all of the Republic of Texas. And then she ends up taking on a 22 who has been dead for 22 minutes for training, and it's just kind of like what happens after that. So it's a really cool action-packed story, and I definitely would recommend it. Next I read We Were Liars by E. Lockhart, the Booksplosion book of the month. And this book I'm not going to say much about, just read it. It was really good. I gave it 5 stars. I really liked it. Had me bawling my eyes out. You just need to read it. Next I read To All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jenny Han. And this book, the ending just killed me. And they are doing, I think there's a second one. I don't know if it's going to be a trilogy or just a duology, but I know there's for sure going to be a second one. And I can't wait for that to come out, because I just want to know kind of like what happens after. But this book was good. It was a cute love story. It was annoying at some points, but I still liked it. I gave it 4 stars, I think. So in this book, the main character, Laura Jean, she has written letters to all the boys that she loved, and then somehow they get sent out, and it's just really about her dealing with the repercussions of that. but it was really good. It's definitely, if you're looking for like kind of a cutesy contemporary, this is a good book for that. And I read The Program by Suzanne Young. This is another book where I didn't really like the characters, and I liked the book, but it was so frustrating at points. So in this book, teen suicide is an epidemic, and once people start showing signs of like depression, you can like report them, and then they will be taken away to go through the program. It fixes them by taking away their memories, so they start with a blank slate, so whatever was depressing them isn't there anymore, so they don't remember it, so it can't depress them anymore. So yeah, this was a good book. I think I gave it 4 stars. And finally, I have another reread, and that was City of Ashes by Cassandra Clare. I think I'm going to reread City of Glass this month, and then the rest of the books I haven't read yet. So I'm going to read those, and then I'll be done with this series, so that will be exciting. But this book, like, it's messing up the camera a little bit. So this book, it was enjoyable. I can't tell you much about the synopsis, once again, because it's the second book in a series. But yeah, I liked it. I don't think I like this series as much as I did. I read these back in, like, way before they were cool. Okay? So, back up. I read it before it was mainstream. So, yeah, but I did read these a long time ago, and I really loved them then. But I just don't know if I like them as much. I just find Clary really obnoxious. I can't help it. I just want to punch her, and I hate Simon. I'm not a big Simon fan. But yeah, I'm excited to see kind of where the series goes after where I left off, so we'll see. So those are all the books, well, these are all the books that I read in the month of June. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you, I hope my head's not cut off, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye! Oh, I tried so hard.